On a chalk stream in Norfolk, ecologists search for an elusive creature. The UK's only native freshwater crayfish. Classified as endangered, it's at risk of extinction.
Oh, got one.
Oh, wow.
Populations of white-clawed crayfish have crashed. Its nemesis is this, the invasive, aggressive, disease-carrying North American signal crayfish, which outcompetes it. White-clawed crayfish are an indicator species, a sign of top water quality and a rich, diverse ecosystem.
As far as we know, we've only got 7 pockets left in Norfolk, and they used to be widespread throughout all of our chalk streams. And the threat is the signal crayfish, the invasion of American signal crayfish, but also water pollution, abstraction, runoff events and chemicals going into our watercourses.
For years, conservationists have been fighting a losing battle to protect the white-clawed crayfish. But now, finally, hopefully, help is at hand. They're going to breed them in captivity and then release them back into the wild. This autumn, a hatchery will be built at Banham Zoo, funded by a £95,000 grant from the government. By next year, the crayfish nursery should be in full production.
I'm hoping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, it's a project that will go on and on and on until we're not needed anymore to do it. You know, ideally, in an ideal world, we wouldn't be here doing it anyway. But I think initially we'll start off very carefully. You know, we'll have probably 6 or 7 from the wild females with their young, and then they lay hundreds at a time.
The biggest challenge? Preventing signal crayfish from infesting rivers where white-clawed crayfish still survive. A new test to detect crayfish DNA in the water could help.
I'm kind of like a detective at a crime scene looking for the fingerprints or the DNA. We will understand in greater detail exactly where we have our white-clawed, our native crayfish, but also where we have our invasive signal crayfish. Because you can look for them with a pond net, and that's great, but sometimes you might miss them. The DNA is much more sensitive.
The hope is to establish new populations of white-clawed crayfish, but in the short term, the breeding programme should at least ensure it isn't wiped out altogether. Richard Daniel, BBC Look East.